Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a Kurask guide for old school RuneScape in my endless journey to do as many Slayer guides as possible. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like. There's also links down below where you can support me in other places, and in addition to that, if there's any guides of sorts that you'd like to see in the future, let me know in a comment down below. But with that said, let's go ahead and get on into the guide. So to start, should you kill Kurask? In my opinion, you should. They are decent XP and they're also good GP, so for most players this is going to be something worth doing. However, for like high level players that are looking for really efficient tasks, at that point bossing for your money is better than coming here, so probably not if you're really late in the game. But honestly, for most people, Kurask would be a really good time. It's a really AFK kind of chill spot where you can do melee. They do hit kind of high, but it's well worth the GP per hour that you're getting along with the XP, in my opinion. As far as the requirements, 43 Prayer and 70 Slayer are the only skills you need. At this point in the game, whenever you have 70 Slayer, you should have a good enough skill to be able to kill these, so you don't really need anything too much in relation to combat. 43 Prayer is only necessary if you want to use melee, and you're going to need to pray it. Some people, if you have really high defense, you don't need to pray melee, but if you're a little early on in the game, it's going to be much advised to pray because these are kind of high level and they do hit pretty often. Kurask are weak to stab, and their attack style is melee based, and they can hit up to an 11. So like I said before, decent kind of hits right there with that 11 max hit. And with the weakness to stab, it really depends on what weapon you're using. Kurask, you need a leaf bladed weapon of some sort, so if you can't use stab, we'll talk about it later, just use whatever is best with the setup that you have on, or whatever XP you need. Really, it's up to you. It's not going to matter too much. And then in terms of what to expect drop wise, the unique drop from Kurask is the 1 in 3,000 Kurask head. I mean, no one really needs this, but if you want it or you want to do a collection log thing, 1 in 78 for Konarchy, so that is actually a really good rate. And then hard clues are a 1 in 128 drop, which is also pretty decent, about 1 a task or so. And overall, in the miscellaneous drops, herb seeds, farming, utilities like alkables, there's just a lot that goes on here. You can make between about 600k to 1.2 mil an hour. Now, that's not pure profit. There are some costs that go into it, but that's about the loot that you can expect. Beyond that, for melee gear, on the left-hand side we have the lowest setup, and on the right-hand side we have kind of the highest setup. You can see that I made the transition from prayer-based gear in the first picture on the left to more defensive gear in the other two. If you want to switch out any prayer at any point, feel free to. It just depends on kind of how you see fit with how much food you're eating. So kind of test it and see what you like. But overall here, leaf-bladed battle axe for every single one of the setups. The other items are listed down below, and you can still use a leaf-bladed spear or a sword if for some reason you don't have the axe. Maybe you're an Iron Man, then by all means, you'll still be okay with those. And like I said before, if you want to use proselyte instead of some of the higher setups, I personally do, so it's up to you. And then finally, in terms of the sweaty rates that you can expect here if you're just absolutely going ham, if you're in the 70s for combat and you are not praying piety, you can expect 14k Slayer XP per hour. That goes up to 17k if you have 85s in your melees, and then 20k if you are max melee. And then finally, 25k if you are max melee plus piety. So not as high of Slayer rates as other monsters that we talk about, but these have a little bit higher defense, and that's kind of the trade-off for that money per hour that you're getting. Overall, if you want the combat XP per hour for any of these, multiply the number times 4, and if you want your GP per hour, multiply that number times 41, which is actually kind of strange because Gargoyles was 42, so it's really close to Gargoyles, honestly. And then before we get into how to get there and whatnot, if you're going to be ranging, a setup like this is what I would recommend. Nothing too expensive here. You can upgrade as needed, but personally, I don't think that if you're later in the game and can afford good range stuff, I don't think you should be ranging here. There are plenty of other places that you can get your range XP that's more beneficial to your account, and melee is just going to be a better thing to use here. So, overall, still nice though, and you don't have to take any damage really. As far as the inventory, I have a Slayer ring to get to my Slayer Master and to the location that we'll be going with the Relica Caves. If you don't have that, you'll just need a method to get up towards Relica. There's a house teleport that you can use to get there, or you can use a fairy ring of some sort. I also have house tellies so that I can can just kind of teleport there whenever the task is done. A herb sack, a rune pouch, and I have some boosting potions as well. I'm bringing some food because when you go and get drops and whatnot, you will kind of get hit a little bit, so I still want to be weary of that. But beyond that, the only other thing I could see you needing would be like a summer pie if you want to boost through some of the shortcuts. So let's go ahead. If you have a Slayer ring, which I would imagine most do, go ahead and teleport onto the Slayer Cave and Relica. If not, like I said, there are other ways to get here. I'll go on out here. There's a fairy ring right outside, and this is a little bit east from the house teleport to Relica, so you could just run from over there too if you're into that. Once inside, you just want to make your way to the end of the cave. This first obstacle you need 81 to be able to pass, or you could have 76 and boost with the summer pie. I'm 1 level off, so I have to take the long way. As long as you have over 62 or 57 with a boost, you won't need any staminas. If you don't have that, you will have to either walk a little bit or just bring an energy potion or stamina real quick and just drink that up, so you'll be good to go. But beyond that, just run on to the end. Getting a little closer right here, going through the last crevice. I actually almost died on my hardcore recently because I clicked a basilisk instead of the crevice and went a little AFK, but beyond that, shouldn't be anything too much to worry about over here. And then once you make on to the final couple rooms over here, you'll see some Kurask. There's a Slayer only area up here, which is where I prefer to hang whenever I'm on a Slayer task. If you're not on a Slayer task, down there is where you can kill them, and as you can see, there's not too much competition, so I don't think you'll have to worry too much. But beyond that, there is a nice little spot over here where you can safe spot and kill the Kurask if you are ranging, and if you're meleeing, just stand out in the middle and nothing to fear, because I mean, either you'll be praying or it's single way combat, so nothing all too much is going to happen to you. But honestly, if you're ranging, it is a really easy time. Just sit on over here. If you want to find a free world, maybe so that the person next to you doesn't have to compete, you can do that. There's a lot of Kurask in here, enough to go around, so this place can usually handle, you know, a few individuals being here at the same time. The only other thing that really can happen of note is you could get a King Kurask, and that is the superior version. If you are meleeing, you don't have to do anything in particular. As long as you have your melee prayer on, you'll be good to go. And if you're ranging, you'll still be fine as well because of the safe spot. And the last thing of note is the Ring of Wealth. I actually kind of like it here because there are just a ton of coin drops. So I enjoy the aspect that it picks up the coins for me and that I have to do less running around. And, you know, I actually think it kind of helps more than some people would realize, because the time you don't spend running around, you can get more DPS, which it might not be DPS boosting, but in a way, I mean, it kind of is. So I'm a fan of it. If you want to bring that, you can switch it out for whatever ring you have, and if not, it's up to you. But yeah, that is going to be it for my Kurask guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Anything you want to tell me, make sure to let me know in a comment down below. And on top of that, if you guys want to see more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to subscribe. Also, I'll be streaming on the Hardcore Iron Man after this video goes out, so check that out down below. And with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.